morning, students. Today's class is based on a special topic which has not been done till yet, but it is the very first question of your question paper. Special, which is just approaching in your periodic test 2. In that, you'll find this kind of question, and that is note making. Note making, I just would like to explain in brief in the beginning that whenever you write big answers of any particular topic, or sometimes you make notes of topics in your of any particular subject, in that case you have to write a lot. So in this case, when you grow up and go to higher classes like 11th standard, 10th standard and 12th and many more, in that case you just have to summarize the things. You have to write the big notes, big matter into shortest available matter text, which is a particular art, you can say. And this art is very useful in making notes of your answers or topics for study material which you make. So today we are going to begin with the same, which you have to understand very carefully, and you just pay attention to it. And this is one of the first question, maybe second part of your first question in your reading section. Section A of your question paper will be given, and that is of 8 marks. You can always go to many sites available on the internet where you can find out material of study material of note making, but still I am making you understand how to write notes. So I just continue with that. Notes are short written record of facts to aid the memory, and notes are usually taken to record a speech or dictation while listening to it or after reading a book, magazine, or article. They are referred back whenever needed and may be reproduced in the desired way. So basically, this is an explanation of note making, which I told you that whenever you read books, you have many volumes of the books of physics, chemistry, bio, mathematics, and so many other subjects also, where you have to read a lot. Reading a lot has to be understood. In nutshell, you have to learn that to reproduce in your examination. That way, you just have to shorten it. In the form of notes. So here we have the topic notes, that is note making. So let's talk about what is the importance of note making. Here it is written that knowledge is vast and unlimited. You know what I said earlier. It's same, I believe, but our memory is limited. We cannot remember all the information all the time. Hence, note making is necessary. With the help of notes, we can recall the entire information which is read or heard months ago. Note making is quite useful to students preparing so many subjects. At the time of examinations, it is not possible to go through voluminous books. At such critical times, notes are quite handy. Hence, note making fulfills 3 useful functions. Let's talk about these main functions. That it keeps a lot of information at our disposal for ready reference. So a lot of information is available to us in the form of notes, and whenever we need it, we can easily retrieve them from your notebooks, from any record books, wherever you keep it. I come to second one. It helps us reconstruct what was said or written, and thus accelerates the process of remembering or recall. Also, third one is that is, it comes in handy to delivering a speech, participation in a debate or discussion, writing an essay and revision, revising lessons before an examination. So these are the three main important functions you can say the notes perform. But if I talk about how note making helps us, these are some points with us. While making notes, we do not simply read the passage or listen to the speech, but consider various points made by the speaker, writer or speaker, and draw our own inferences. Inferences means results and conclusions about what is being presented. Thus, note making helps us in understanding the passage in a better way and organizing our thoughts systematically. So, this is a very great help when you make notes of a person speaking. In a meeting, you can write notes. In a speech, you can make notes. Or when you read books, long books or big books which have a deep matter, multiple text topics, in that case, you have to shorten them in the form of notes. That is help, great help. I come to the characteristics of good notes. Of course, note making is an art, and what are the qualities or characteristics of good notes we have to study. The first one is here it is short and compact. Notes are short and compact. Good notes must be short and compact. Of course, they should not be in the same amount of text which you read or listen to somebody. If you write the same matter, whatever it is written in the book, then what is the use of notes? It means it is you are copying the same thing. But you just find out the conclusion that you write in the form of points. And there are different types of notes. We shall proceed to that. So now second one is, but if you write short and compact notes, it doesn't mean that you just miss any information. The information must be complete. They must contain all the important information. Okay, I come to the next point, that is third one. The uh, the note should be short and compact, first one. It should have complete information. You should not miss any information. And third one is logical. Logical means there are three logics. First logic is sequence. Second logic is relevance. Fourth logic is without missing any information. It should be comprehensive and brief. So this is called logical. Logical sequence, logical relevance, and logical meaning. That notes should be understood by you in a systematic manner. If you write it in a different sequence, then what is the use of writing notes? They must be presented in a logical way. This is third point. I come to the fourth one, that is, they must be understandable. It doesn't mean that you write the notes in a particular writing or in a particular style that when you just refer to them, retrieve them later on, you come to know that what I've written, and you don't understand anything, any part of it, then what is the use of making notes? It's all wastage of time then. So, dear children, these are four important points. I repeat, They're very important. First one, short and compact. They should not be long enough. Then no use. Second is it should have complete information. Third one is logical, and fourth one is they should be understandable. You should understand when you retrieve again, when you find out that it should be referred to it, then you should understand that too. I come to how to write it, what are the mechanics of note making. Here it is. See, there are different types of notes and depends on each and every student how do they write notes. There are different representations. Here we are going to study the very popular and very common method or methodology of writing notes. We'll just discuss how many types of notes are there. First one could be the graphical representation, like tree method. Tree method is just I draw it here. Like first, it can be a falling table kind of thing. That is one box, logical box. Then other parts, then other parts, then further parts, and further parts. This can also be one of the methods. Some students, it depends student to student, and every student has his own way, her own way that how do they make notes, how do they understand it better. Whenever they refer to them in future, they should understand it better in their own ways. One note can be understood by you, and maybe you may not understand the notes made by your friend. What does it mean? That notes are highly personal and their own interface, which you should make in a way that you should understand them. It doesn't mean you're making notes for yourself. Of course, you can make notes for others also, but it depends whether your form of notes are understood by others or no. Remember that. So, I come to the popular way, that is, while making notes, we follow certain standard procedures, standard practices. These may be listed as follows. First one is heading and subheadings. Remember, children, whenever you start notes, you begin with title of the note. Of course, title of the notes can be also written in the summary part, but it depends what the question is. But remember, title should be compulsory so that you understand the main topic of your notes. In the beginning, I just expect and recommend you always write title. Second one is heading and subheadings. When I come to the examples, I'll make you understand what are headings and subheadings in a more elaborate way, but still here, I just want to tell you that there are certain points. For example, we have like A, B, C, D. In the screen you can see, I just make it A, B, C, D. These are some points. Can you see? Are they in form of sentences? They are not sentences. What are they? They are simply group of words. So what do I mean to say? That I just want to tell you that always write these points of notes in the form of phrases or group of words which are understood by you. Never write headings, subheadings, and other points of notes in the form of sentences. If you write sentences, that will make a bulk note. That is not a good quality of a note, basically, I would say. And of course, that will not be shortened form of notes. So that is not a good characteristic of notes if you write in sentences. Avoid writing sentences. I would say you must not write sentences, especially in Headings and subheadings. Remember, if you write sentences in this particular part, then marks will be deducted. Okay. First one is heading and subheading. Second one is abbreviation and symbols. Third is C, note form. D is numbering and indentation. This is one of the part of your writing notes. What is indentation? I believe in 9th standard you must have, in 10th standard you must have studied. I always insist LHA, LA. What are these letters? I believe you remember that. Some students must have understood what I have written, LHA or LA. This is nothing but indentation or alignments. Your alignment makes notes appear perfect, appealing, more understandable, and rich, and ultimately beautiful, I would say, and rather they are best notes in that form. Okay, I explain what is LA. It is called left hand alignment. I just draw something which you will understand. That is, for example, this is A. It is main heading. Then you write subheadings A.1, B. A.2, A.3. So can you see the main heading is in this alignment and subheadings in this alignment. And further, when you write point B, in that case also, point B should be written here. It start here and B.1, B.2, B.3. They should be in this alignment and main heading should be in this alignment, leaving this space in a particular difference so that they should be identified separately that this is main heading and this is subheading. This is called numbering and indentation. So take care of this, children. Now let's talk about heading and subheading. The heading reflects the main theme, whereas the subheadings point out how it has been developed. Heading reflects the topic's main idea, and subheading represents the contents of that particular paragraph or your topic. Naturally, heading is the main point or the theme of that topic. Subheading is the content represented in short form is called subheading. So the reader can understand the whole without missing any information. So I read out, the heading reflects the main theme, whereas subheadings point out how it has been developed. The selection of proper heading and subheading reveals the grasp of the passage by the students. In the absence of proper assimilation of main ideas and subsidiary points, it is impossible to make notes. If you don't have main idea, if you don't have the content idea, how can you make notes? This is the meaning of this paragraph. I come to next one. When you make notes, dear children, what happens? You come across while reading something. You come across big sentences, big words composed of many letters. For example, if I talk about recommendations, it has many letters, many syllables. And it's a big word. If we write these big words in notes, then what is the use of notes? You have to shorten it. If you shorten them, then you can easily write notes. You can save your time. You can save your energies. That's why we use abbreviations and symbols. Remember, abbreviations and symbols are not fixed. They can be designed by you. They can be modified by you. For example, I give an example of my own abbreviation. Whenever I just read something and make notes, and I come across a word function. See, function. It's a big word for me. For example, I have to shorten it. What should I write? Remember, in the form of function, I just write simply this. This is my whole word function. Similarly, you can write your own word. You can design your own one, your own abbreviations. But remember, do not forget to write its own the representation with its expanded form in examination. There is 1 mark reserved for this particular category of your notes. If you don't write abbreviation in its full form, minimum 5 abbreviations has to be written in every note making. I'm just pointing it out, stressing it up. I'm insisting. I repeat. Do not forget to write abbreviation at its full form. It contains 1 mark. And when you come to teachers to fight with us for half mark, sir, why did you cut this mark? Then how can you lose 1 mark for not writing abbreviations in examination? Remember, if you are a good student, you should not lose any mark. So take care of this. I come to next one. These are some abbreviations written here, but before that I just would like to read out. Abbreviations are used for precision, accuracy, and economy of words, and hence quite helpful in note making. At least 4 recognizable abbreviations are to be used. Minimum 4 or 5 are compulsory in note making in your board examination or any examination. These are essential components of note making. Essential, remember, I'm insisting again, essential. And students often make use of abbreviations and symbols in doing their written work. You must have used these symbols, and there is no student we have seen that who does not use symbols and abbreviations in his writing life. So these are some common symbols, and it depends what you do, how do you write, how do you use them. So they are the writer's expressions. You develop your own. So there are some other examples. They are called acronyms. Acronyms are the letters. Each letter represents single word. Sometimes we miss some prepositions like of in the case of CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, where C central, B board, S secondary, E education, and we just miss out O. But sometimes you must see in your newspaper whenever you read in English. I've seen GOM. I tell you, I've seen in newspaper. When I came to know about it, I came to know that G represents group, O represents of, M represents ministers. So what does it mean? Group of ministers. Sometimes acronyms also do not miss out the prepositions also. So it depends. So contractions. Contractions. You can write captain for CAPT dot. Remember, this is a particular important point which I want to tell you today. See, according to CBSE standards, according to standard English language, latest information is that whenever there is a word, when you shorten it, contract, if it ends with the last letter, then you should not write dot after that. I just tell you. If I take an example of, just wait, doctor. I write it shortly, doctor. Remember, do not put point after that, because according to latest information of English, we generally do not use dot after the word, after the acronym or contraction, when it ends with the last letter of the word. It should be written dr simply. I give another example, Mr. Mr. is written as MR. We don't put dot after that. Remember, it is latest trend in English language. Or basically what latest? It had been earlier also. But students didn't know and we didn't follow that. But one more thing. If I talk about the word secondary, I'm writing it. And if I want to contract this particular word, I will write SEC. And see, last letter is Y. And I'm shortening it, contracting it to SEC. Then remember, children, we have to put dot after that. It is important. This is very, very, very important. Here in these contractions also you can see that captain contains dot, company contains CO dot, colonel contains COL dot, and so on. Now just come to next one. You can see the short forms where book is written BOOK as BK. And can you see any dot at the end of this particular contraction short form? No. There is a reason which I told you just now, that we do not use put dot after every contraction if it contains the last letter of the word. Remember, children, I'm insisting it. If you remember this, I'll feel that you are a good student. Otherwise, if you forget, then I'll just consider that you do not pay attention to these minor things which are very important in your life. This is repeating, I'm repeating it again and again. How to use dot. Dot should be used when there is a letter which is not the last letter. Dot should not be used in the contraction and short form when there is the last letter of the word is given. So take care of this, and we have some more contractions with us, and when I supply this note, then you will understand it better. I'll just come to next one. You should note down that confusing abbreviations should be avoided. Do not use those abbreviations which are not useful, which you forget sometimes. The abbreviations which you use commonly or which you can remember in future, they should be used always. So it is practically possible for you. And for example, abbreviations for under, may stand for understand. Under may become understood. Under may also become understanding. So these should be avoided. Some abbreviations which are not clear, they should be avoided. Now, note form. While making notes, the whole information is listed in note form in points. Notes should not be written in complete sentences as we can't remember the whole information. So only the main points are listed one under the other and numbered. So I tell you what I've said. Write main point first, then write sub main points first after that. And all points must be numbered. First main point should be 1 and its subheading should contain 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 and so on. Minimum 3 subheadings are important and maximum 5 are enough. Remember, minimum 3 subheadings 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 is compulsory. And if you want to extend it to 1.4, 1.5, that is more than enough. If you write 6, it's okay. But don't write 1.7, 1.8, 1.10, 1.100. That is not a good note. All right. I come to next one. I take a break. I continue another video. So thank you children. I just continue in the next class and I stop it here. And I believe this beginning of understanding your note making, you must have understood all the things, all the matter which I taught you. You will practice a lot. And in next class, I'll take an example which will make you more understanding how to write notes, how to understand how to make themes, how to make main headings and subheadings, how to format that. So this is your first class of note making. Next will be with the examples. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.